Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Douglas on the product team for Agentforce Vibes. I'd like to show you how you can use workflows to automate a series of repetitive tasks. Let's suppose when you start working on a new ticket, you need to create a new Scratch org and deploy a base application. Let's see how Agentforce Vibes can speed up this process and help you get developing faster. Workflows can be configured to run globally or for a specific project. In this workflow, we are going to use Agentforce Vibes to create a new Scratch org if it doesn't exist. If it already does, we'll set it to the default org. Next, we'll clone a repo and move all of our code into the current directory. Then we can use the Salesforce DX MCP server to deploy the metadata to our default org. And finally, we'll run all tests in the Scratch org to make sure we are good to go before starting on our new feature. For this demo, I also added some details for commands to help prevent some confusion, as some of our MCP tools are not available yet. Okay, I'm going to use the / command to kick off this workflow. It's simply the name of the markdown file. Agentforce reads through the instructions and starts working through the tasks one by one. It asks for the alias of the Scratch org first, and then the URL of the repo to clone. We're going to use this one with a single trigger, Apex handler, and test class. Once I enter the URL, Agentforce is going to check if it needs to create the Scratch org. It's first going to see what the default org is currently set to, and then provide an overview of the tasks in the workflow. Since Agentforce determined that my alias isn't the default org, it's going to check if the org exists. The alias doesn't exist, so Agentforce is going to spin up a new Scratch org for us. After a few seconds, the new org is created, and then Agentforce starts cloning the repo and moving files into the current directory. The next step is to deploy the metadata using the DX MCP deploy tool. Looks like Agentforce discovered some conflicts from moving the files around, but fixed this for us and is trying the deploy again. Okay, the deployment was successful, so the last step in the workflow is to run unit tests. Here's the test results. And it looks like everything passed. The workflow is complete, and here's an overview of the steps Agentforce performed. I could have made this process a lot faster by pre-approving all of the tool calls. Every workflow deserves better vibes. Automate it with Agentforce Vibes.